It's me, Mario!
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Nintendo Review Podcast. I'm Darren Bolton and I'm, as always, joined by Lee and Greg. Lee, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, thanks. But I have an apology to make.
Huh?
My apology
What have you done?
is to the Taiwan Refuse Collection Department. And I was mistaken in saying that they play Handel out of their microphones and speakers that they got on the back of the trucks. It's not Handel, it's Beethoven, of all the things. And I should have known better.
Did they make a formal complaint?
Yeah, of course. They're not going to come in to collect my rubbish for about 3 weeks.
Amazing. Greg, how you doing?
I don't have as interesting a story to tell. I'm absolutely fine. Like, all good.
Cool.
You've got a very nice Mario Kart 8 poster behind you, I can see. Framed poster. That's very nice. I'm quite jealous of that.
It's not yet attached to the wall.
Oh, is it not? Is it just...
No,
What's
I've
it
got
leaning
another one.
against?
If you look, there's a nice Breath of the Wild one there too.
Very good.
Which is
very
pointless
good.
as
You big tease.
nobody can see this. So
Great podcast content. But anyway, let's get straight into it. As always, we have got a lot to talk about, so let's get started with the news. So before we recorded the last... was it before we knew that there was going to be an Indies? And then obviously, as always, we record directly before it. And then the Indies happened. And they announced loads of games. As expected, there was a lot of new announcements. It was completely different to the European one, which was amazing. And I don't know if you remember, but I said the game I really want them to bring... Well, I actually said Enter the Breach, but the game is called Into the Breach. But they're one more thing at the very end, so they must have been as excited as I was Into the Breach. I couldn't believe it. The game I've been calling for all this time, it finally came. So exciting. Perfect for Switch. But I thought it was a much better Direct. I don't think it was incredible, but I thought it was solid. We won't go through it all. I'm sure everybody knows what games were announced. But is there a game or is there a couple of games, Lee, that stood out to you that makes you particularly excited?
I've been looking forward to Towerfall for quite some time. That's coming on my birthday, September 27th. That'll be a nice one to pick up. Unfortunately, no online again. It's only local co-op, up to 6 players, but I know at least at the most I can get 4 or 5 people around, but that's going to be on unusual schedules, that won't happen very often. It's going to be the two-player co-op elements, because it does have normal levels and everything that me and my son will play through, which should be good fun. The other one I was looking forward to, apart from Into the Breach, which you got right, and I downloaded, I haven't played yet, is the Untitled Goose Game. Did you like the look of that? I thought that was just a load of fun, something, go around being a complete... I was going to say a bad word then. Being a complete idiot and stealing people's lunch, being a peep goose. Stealing people's sandwiches and their keys and just being a complete nuisance. Sounds great. Early 2019, that one.
Looks amazing. Exactly the kind of... It's like a perfect indie game.
yeah, I'm just looking down through the list of games here as well. Like, there wasn't that much that stood out to me, as usual, but the Goose Game did look like a lot of fun. Like, that's the one I would have picked out as well.
Yeah, there's like a good mix of sort of old classics like Transistor and Sword and Sorcery. That I played that on the iPhone. Bastion is obviously a bit of a classic, and a few sort of new ones as well. It's just like every week there's so many games coming out. All these little games, it's really amazing. But so none of those kind of appeal to you?
I'm sure there's probably quite a few decent games in there. It's just like you said, like there's too much to play, and it's like you have to sort of draw the line somewhere. It's like, where am I going to find the time to play some of these?
Depends on how good they are. I think that Mineko's Night Market looked amazing.
Yeah, looks beautiful.
Yeah, really beautiful style, and the kind of gameplay is kind of sort of a mix between. It reminded me of Animal Crossing a lot, but it's got a few more mini games attached to it. Maybe a bit. Farm, like Harvest Moon. I don't know, but it looks fantastic. I thought a lot of the games looked really good. It didn't have anything which really kind of excited me, like, say, for example, Pool Panic did in the last one, and Bomb Chicken. Although I didn't end up getting Pool Panic, but it looked so different and so amazing. I think the Goose Game was probably the most that. But then Undertale, I'm really excited about. The Dragon Mark for Death looks really good. Just a good, solid Nindies event, and it's just great to kind of keep seeing all these games come. So awesome. But on that, as we missed that Nindies event last week, we have just sort of found out, it hasn't been officially confirmed, but it's looking very likely that we have just missed the next Nintendo Direct, which is going to focus on the online and probably announce new Super Mario Bros. U and stuff like that. So we're going to be a week late behind on that one as well. But so we'll see if it even happens. But it sounds like just before we start recording that it is going to be happening at midnight tomorrow. But we'll see. So continuing on from news, we've obviously last time out we heard about the multiplayer Shovel Knight expansion, and they've now since confirmed when that is coming out, when the 3-pack amiibo coming out, and when the what's it called, the King of Cards expansion, the final. So this is the final bit of Shovel Knight, and then it'll be amazing to see what they work on next. But I was surprised it's April. That's quite far away, isn't it?
They like to put this extra time in the development, don't they? How long has Shovel Knight been going on now, People have been clamouring for, hey, maybe you should just go and make a new game. Stop giving us more free stuff. But I'm not complaining they're giving us free stuff. They've got to,
They have to, because it's on the Kickstarter, yeah.
Yeah, and they're a good company, and they're living up to their promises. Yes, wonderful. I'm getting all this extra free content, and I can't wait to actually, the King of Cards, and then there's a side actual card game. I can't wait to play that one as well.
Yeah, it all looks, I love all of this. I know Greg, as always, the seer of bad negativity, doesn't like Shovel Knight. How? I don't know. But did you get the treasure trove, or...
yeah, I've got the treasure trove. I did like it. I just didn't love it as much as like everybody else seemed to. I still have to play like the second 2 games, whatever they are, like Plague Knight and Spectre Knight. Is that?
That's right. I say you could potentially skip Plague Knight, and because if you struggled with the first one, at least Spectre Knight lives up to that kind of potential of being as good as, or maybe even better than the first game. But Plague Knight is a struggle.
Yeah, I agree.
I may give it a go soon, because like I was on my Switch the other night and I was just looking through the games list and I thought, is it time to jump back in? Did
you finish it, or did you just get started?
I finished the first Shovel Knight, yeah.
Yeah. Give Spectre Knight a go. It's got a really cool mechanic. What I will say, complete tangents, sorry about this, but I've just started playing through the Messenger.
Oh, you did pick it up. I was just about to ask that question. Good. And
yeah, I've literally played it for half an hour. It seems amazing. It reminds me so much of Shovel Knight, though. So they must have been inspired by it. It's obviously a retro version of, say, Ninja Gaiden, and obviously that's a retro version of, say, Mega Man or Ghouls and Ghosts or kind of whatever. And so it feels similar on that level, but it actually plays a bit like Spectre Knight, because on Spectre Knight where you can like hit the light, is it lights or whatever?
It's like a torch or whatever it is, a lantern.
Yeah, that's the exact mechanic of the Messenger.
They have particular points. There are lamps as well. Okay.
Yeah, and but it does seem good. It's even got one of the things, in Shovel Knight, where when you die, you drop your bags of money, and then you can buy upgrades to reduce the amount of money and stuff like that. It's even got that feature. So you've got a feature where when you die, you have this little creature who saves your life, but then says, "I'm going to follow you around, and every bit of money you collect, I'm going to take the money as payment until I get bored." And then you can get an upgrade to make him a little bit sooner and stuff. So they've been heavily inspired by Shovel Knight, which is no problem. But I don't know how Greg will feel about that. But I don't know if you've played much Ninja Gaiden, but it feels great. It looks amazing. It's everything about it is like really kind of spot on. But if you like Ninja Gaiden, it's well worth getting. Did any of you play through any of the Ninja Gaiden games?
Nope.
A long time ago, yes. I loved them as well. Apart from, as people always complain about Ninja Gaiden, is some cheap enemy deaths. The enemy placement can be quite brutal at times, and then you can back off, and when you come and then you push forward again, reappear. So as long as you're slightly 1 pixel off screen, then an enemy will reappear when you go back onto that screen. Really hard.
This does that, actually.
Oh, really?
The only one I really remember is I think my friend had I think it was called The Ninja on Sega Master System. I remember playing that, I think, a wee bit.
Yeah, was that a Ninja Gaiden game?
I don't think so, but it seems.
I don't think it was.
Reminds me of it, like. But whenever I see screenshots of like the early levels of it and stuff, like it brings back memories, you know. So I definitely remember playing it, but since then I haven't really played any ninja games.
I had that. That's bringing back mad memories now. I'm getting great podcast content. I'm just going to Google it because.
Talking about ninja games, there was a Commodore 64 game I used to love as a kid called The Last Ninja 2. That was an isometric ninja game. That was something special as well.
Was that one of the ones that was on the Wii Virtual Console?
Oh, I missed out on the Wii Virtual Console because they did Commodore 64 games on there, didn't they?
Yeah, because I do remember seeing like a ninja game. I never bought any of the Commodore games on it, but I do remember seeing like an isometric ninja game. It may have been that one.
Probably because that was one of the kind of pied de resistance, you know. It was a really, really well established game on the Commodore 64. It's kind of one of the first games I think of when I think of that computer.
Commodore 64. Did you ever play Little Computer People?
No.
It's like a sort of a Tamagotchi live sim. You play a little computer, but you couldn't save it, so you had to like leave the game on. And I can remember my friends leaving it on for like 48 hours and watching him slowly die. And these great tangent, Commodore 64 section. So moving on. Obviously, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is coming out very soon, and in the past week, Sega have announced that their very first Valkyria Chronicles is coming out on the Switch next month, on the 16th of October, which is, again, it's just amazing that these games are coming out. I've never played it. It's meant to be amazing. I played the demo of Valkyria Chronicles 4 on the Switch, first time I've had exposure to it, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was incredible. A sort of a mix of... I guess if you think of sort of, obviously, the Fire Emblem kind of aspect to it, but it's sort of got a Battalion Wars aspect to it where you do the controlling as well in third person, and it's exactly my kind of game. Have any of you play the demo or even Valkyria Chronicles 1?
I downloaded the demo and it looks like my type of game, and it's one of those things that if I start it, I'd probably end up buying it and carrying on, so I'm just gonna leave it there for a little while. And I won't be purchasing this digitally. Do you know how much it is digitally on eShop? $49.99.
Wow.
And they do give you a 25% discount on the first game when it comes on digitally, but you must have purchased Valkyria Chronicles on the Switch digitally. So that 25% discount is not going to be worth it. Not when you can pick it up for probably about 35 quid elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What about you, Greg? Obviously... You're not really into kind of tactical RPGs, are you?
Not really. So, not really into this either.
You should give it a go. It's got a demo. It's not just it's not like a traditional one like Fire Emblem. It's a little bit more to it. Did you ever play Battalion Wars?
I played the first one on GameCube. I have the second one as well, although I haven't started it yet. But I played through all of the first one on GameCube, and it was okay.
Yeah, don't download the demo then. Also in the past week, more announcements. We've had Onimusha Warlords revealed. Did we not chat about that last week? Did that happen after the podcast?
That happened
last week?
after, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, of course, because last week, Greg, you were saying, I want Capcom to kind of step up. And I think the day later, they announced Onimusha, the PlayStation 1? PlayStation 2 game?
PS2,
PlayStation 2 game.
And actually, it's probably one of the only games that sort of makes me keep my PS2.
So, that good?
I'm not saying it's that good. Like, I'm excited to play it again, but like the PS2 for me is a bit of a nothing console because a lot of the games that I would like for it, I've already got them on the GameCube. So there's very few games on the PlayStation 2 itself that I really care about that much. But Onimusha was never released on a Nintendo platform before, so like, I sort of keep the PS2 around for that. Or there's like Guitar Man. That's another reason for keeping the PS2. I kind of wish they would re-release that somewhere.
Probably will.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it was like I'm not sure who made Guitar Man. If it could come to a Nintendo console in the future, like if it came to the Switch, I'd be absolutely delighted.
So are you going to get this?
I would say so. I'm not sure what the UK price is. I think it's supposed to be like $19.99.
$15.99. All the Capcom ports are pounds.
So
yeah.
I say for me that's no brainer. Absolutely picking it up. It's very old school. It's like Resident Evil with like samurais in it. So pretty cool.
That's what put me off on the trailer a bit. It's kind of, it's like, do I need to go back to that Resident Evil 2 tank controls again? I'll see.
It has tank controls?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a full Resident Evil clone in many ways, isn't it? Yeah.
We'll see.
The only downside I would have with it probably is there's quite a few slide puzzles in it, which I hate. but they're very basic, so like I never struggled with any of them in the game. So hopefully that's the case when I play the remake or the remaster or whatever.
I don't think I've ever heard the term slide puzzles as much as since doing this podcast.
When I stop hating them, I'll stop mentioning them.
No, it's fine. It's good. So, have you guys heard of RPG Maker? I think it came out for the 3DS, and obviously there was announced a Switch version. And this week they announced it's coming out over in the West early next year, in February. I think it sounds great. I was quite interested by the 3DS version, and you can download for free. I think.
Yep, it is
player.
free.
So it is free. So anybody can download the player. And play all the RPGs that people make. So the maker you pay for, but to play them is free. Which is kind of weird, actually, but pretty good, I guess. And does this? I'm guessing, Lee, this appeals to you a lot because you like creating games and excited by, say, Wargroove's creation and stuff. So, are you giddy?
Yes, but it seems one of those really daunting things. You know, this is going to be massive. You take something like Mario Maker and you multiply it by infinity. The kind of, because it's been out on PC for a while as well. The kind of options and everything, every single little thing seems to be customizable, and I suppose you could spend a year making a single game, you know. It actually seems too daunting at times, but I'll definitely be giving the RPG Maker player a try, seeing whether or not I get on with it, and then thinking about a purchase at a later time.
What about you, Greg? We were chatting last week about sort of maker games. So does an RPG Maker appeal to you?
Well, when I was at university and stuff, like I did some programming and stuff, and we got to like design some games and stuff. So like I've always had that interest in creating my own things, but I'm not sure if I want to make like a big full-blown RPG. I'd definitely give playing it a try. So I might download that, but as for actually getting the game to make my own stuff, I probably not.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, like you guys, I'd definitely kind of give it a go. It's one of those games where I want to play it, I want to buy it, and I want to make RPGs, but in reality, I probably wouldn't. So, but it's got cross-platform play with the Xbox One, so we can obviously kind of play their versions. It's got USB keyboard support to make it a little bit easier for shortcuts and stuff. So, you know, here's hoping it's a really good game. But it's again great to see on the Switch. More games announced, like I say, every week. Or the news is basically what games have been announced in the past 7 days. So I love Zen Pinball, absolutely love it. I had it on the 3DS, both versions. I had it on the Wii U, and I downloaded tables. I've downloaded it on the Switch, and annoyingly, my tables don't cross over. But that's another issue entirely. I absolutely love the game. Pretty annoyed that the Star Wars tables haven't come over. They've released some solo tables for the film. They didn't come to the Switch, which is a bit annoying. So the Star Wars branded ones aren't coming to Switch. And they announced that, I don't know if you know, but there's a game called the Pinball Arcade.
Yeah.
And they basically, a few months ago, they said, they put the tables on sale and said, these are coming off. We can't sell them again. We've lost the license. And this week, a few days ago, Zen said we have the license. So they have the Williams and the Bawley pinball collections coming to Zen Pinball 3. My initial fear of will it come to Switch is gone because they've confirmed it is. So this is amazing. So these obviously Zen Pinball have these crazy themed, bonkers at times, completely unrealistic tables, which are loads of fun. But these are very realistic. These are based on actual tables. I don't know if you guys have played any pinball. Lee, we have, because we've been battling for times and scores on a couple of the tables. So
I think I just beat you again on the Zeus table, Darren. You'll have to get back on it.
Well, I haven't played it for many months, so that's done. Challenge extended.
Good. Yes, exciting. You know, the kind of Zen, the Pinball FX3, the kind of physics of the ball as well are slightly more arcadey, isn't it? It doesn't root itself in reality. You know, the ball doesn't feel as heavy as a normal ball would. I'm hoping they do something with the physics, because the Williams and the Bawley tables are based on real tables, that they do something just to make it feel a bit more weighty for those sections anyway.
Which way would you rather go? Because I love Zen Pinball because they're based on kind of great characters and franchises, and they're a little bit crazy and things like that. But these appeal to me because they're kind of realistic. Which way would you go, or maybe both, in terms of, do you want to make them more realistic to fit in with the arcade tables? Or what about Zen pinballing them up a little bit and maybe using them, basing and making them maybe a little bit crazier and developing them, or do you think that's sacrilege?
I don't mind either way, which way they do it, but I can imagine a lot of people would feel that's sacrilege, and I don't think Zen Studios would go that far, especially after getting the license. Surely the Williams license people have said, no, this must be a faithful recreation as far as you can. Don't do your arcade ball, which goes whizzing off at 5 times the speed of a normal ball, all that stuff. I would like to see the real ones, though, just to be different, just to give Zen Pinball, a fresh take on something. If you want the realistic ones, buy these. You want Back to the Future, carry on buying our amazing arcade versions.
Yeah, good point. But I'm excited. Greg, have you ever kind of dived into video game pinball?
Not really. I played a wee bit of Sonic Spinball, like not a lot, but a wee bit. But actually reminds me, my first real introduction to pinball was we had like this wee Sonic the Hedgehog like pinball set, just like a wee small one, and it was actually a lot of fun. It doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. But it was really good. But actually, it's off on a slight tangent as usual. Lee was glowing about Yoku's Island Express a couple of weeks ago.
The demo,
rightly so.
Yeah, I actually played it a little bit last week with my brother. It was down at his house.
Saw your thoughts.
Not quite as glowing as you. I mean, it seems fine. I just, like, after 10 minutes, I was like, oh, it's fine. I think I've had enough, really.
Right, the mission today, let's find a game. Oh, no, we did on a Mushu. At least we had that. I was going to say a game Greg likes on a Mushu. It's just you through and through, isn't it? If it's not at least 10 years old, you're not interested.
We're talking about games. You have to be really careful. Your slight dislike of what's his name? I've forgotten his name now. The pinball game. Was it because of the pinball mechanics or the platforming?
Actually, I think part of it was possibly because my brother had already started the game, so I kind of jumped in somewhere and wasn't really sure where I was supposed to be going. Maybe didn't know all of the techniques and stuff. So we were just going, we sort of had an idea of, my brother sort of figured out where he was supposed to be going, so I was sort of going around the map trying to find a way to go. So it was sort of and it's kind of taking me a few minutes to try and get where I wanted to go, because obviously the pinball.
It looks quite a big map, and if you want to go from left to right, there's no, maybe the shortcuts open up in the future. I don't think so, though. You'd need to pinball your way all the way across. I can understand that. Give the demo a go, though. Kind of drops you in right at the beginning.
Okay. I'll give it another chance.
Good man.
And download Zen Pinball and give that a go. You get a free table.
3 free tables.
Do you?
Son of Zeus, the Haunted House, I forgot what it's called, and there's another one.
Adventureland.
Adventureland, yeah. And what's the third one? I can't remember. Yeah, 3 free tables.
You don't get 3 free tables.
Yes, you do.
That's amazing.
I've been playing 3, and I haven't paid anything.
Have you not bought a table yet?
No, I bought my tables on the Wii U version, and then just like yourself, I'm like, they didn't bring my Walking Dead one across. What's happening? So I'm waiting for a sale.
That's fair enough. But get it downloaded, Greg. Give it a go. You may surprise yourself. I think we all know that one. Other games announced yesterday. R-Type Dimensions has just been announced. I love a good side-scrolling shoot 'em up. I've already downloaded a few shoot 'em ups on the Switch. There's loads on the Switch, loads of amazing shoot 'em ups here. But R-Type's a classic, and Dimensions, I think this is a game that came out about 5 or 6 years ago on the PS3 and Xbox 360, and it's meant to be really good. I've not actually played it. It's sort of a remake of 1 and 2 together, thrown in as a bundle, and they've got Monster Boy does and stuff like that, and hopefully what Streets of Rage does, in terms of you can flick between old retro graphics and new graphics. I don't know if you can flick them on the fly. I think you got to choose. But do you guys like a bit of R-Type?
Oh, it's one of those games when you're playing. I can't remember if it must have been on the Commodore 64 or the Amiga, either one of them. And it was wonderful playing through the first level. And then I can't remember, it was the third level with the scrolling ship. It would go up and down. If you chose the wrong side, you're dead. And I never got past that third level. And it would be a game I'd go back to and keep on playing the first level many times. But that's it. It's one of those games where you lose your power-ups and you've had it. You've got to basically restart the game, because you can't carry your power-ups. You're starting level 3 with no power-ups. No. I hope that they've sorted some of that out in this Dimensions.
I'd imagine so. They've got like rewind features and save states, and they've got like
cool.
they've got quite a few features. What about you? You're an Ikaruga lover, Greg. Does the classic side-scrolling shoot 'em ups appeal to you?
Kinda. A couple of years ago, I was sort of like playing through a few old SNES games, ones that I maybe hadn't finished, and Super R-Type was one of them. It was okay. Like, I wouldn't be like, I'm not pure desperate for another R-Type game, but fair enough, more games.
See what it's like. Yeah, exactly. And the final bit of news, I mean, this kind of relates to what we was chatting about earlier, but there's so firmware 6 is on the servers, or it's been developers have got it. I think it's on the servers. It's been data mined, and hopefully it's not the whole of the 6, because there's not much to it, in all honesty. There is no folders, mention of folders, or mention of messaging services, or anything like that. So, but there's been a few things. Obviously, there's a few icons and things, but the most exciting and kind of weird is loads of icons for controllers, and a variety of controllers too. Not just, so there's NES controllers, SNES controllers, Famicom and Super Famicom, but then there's also ones with little bits on them. There's like multiple versions of them. So what does this mean? Because these are the icons that, you know, when you sort of like sync a controller to the Switch and they've got the little icon. It's that. So is this suggesting, do you think, that they're going to release NES controllers and SNES controllers and all these different controllers for us to play our online NES and SNES games? Is this what this is saying, do you think?
Definitely. Yes.
Really? That's confident.
It seems like it, but actually, now that I'm thinking of it, is there a possibility that they would have like Joy-Cons in like the shape of like NES controllers or whatever that slip onto the sides?
That would be a weird orientation unless you use it in Tate mode, and you know, because the NES controller is left to right horizontally longer than it is up and down, and if you turned it around to fit it on the side of the Switch,
the buttons
would be in the wrong place.
Yeah. Oh, it's just a thought.
Unless you had half of it, you know, you got half of one, but when you do actually slide the Joy-Con on, you can only see the one Joy-Con, can't you? If you just slide one Joy-Con on, it's just the half the Joy-Con. No, but these seem like Bluetooth, SNES, NES. What I found quite interesting is the one of them has a microphone. The data miner himself said that is a microphone, so there's going to be microphone compatibility with one of the Famicom controllers, which seems... Is that for future Wii games? I don't know. What would use a microphone? They put in... Is that what... So is it confirmed as a microphone? I thought it was because people saw the little mark. I think it's guessing, isn't it? But educated guessing. If it's a microphone,
guessing. They've already said that we can chat playing these NES games. So why not? I mean, because we've always said, why is there not a microphone on it when you play stuff like Fortnite and things? Yeah. Maybe this says that they're going to bring native voice chat to the Switch finally, and that we can chat, because it was stupid to not put a microphone on the Joy-Cons in the first place. Maybe
you're going to have to pair it up with your phone.
But why? Why else would there be a microphone on it?
I know, but no, you're right.
Doesn't the original Famicom, isn't there a microphone on controller too?
Is there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just standard. Like I think player 1 had like just the normal like start buttons or whatever, but player 2 had a microphone.
What game did they use that for? Yeah, the Japanese one.
I don't know, but I'm nearly sure that was just a standard thing.
Oh, cool.
Over there. Like obviously we didn't get it over here.
And it was the Famicom one that had the microphone on, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it may just be a design thing.
Could be.
There's just getting a little bit excited there. But ultimately, this is great news, isn't it?
Well, it's great news for the SNES controllers, SNES controllers. It's like, surely that's also confirming that SNES games are on the way. You know,
yeah, but they said that anyway, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, they did, but they sort of went back on it a wee bit.
It just seems a bit more concrete and a bit more, hey, this is coming sooner than you think.
Online Super Mario Kart, online Super Soccer, Greg. There you go. That'll be a happy podcast.
That's the dream.
I've just looked, and yeah, the second controller did have a microphone on it.
That's so maybe it is killing dreams as usual.
Well done, Greg.
Damn it. Okay, well, I mean, we'll see, but I think this is really exciting news, that we can get these controllers. And what's annoying is that I've got 2 NES controllers from the NES Mini, and obviously 2 from the classic SNES as well. Unless it is just that, unless it's just plugging them into them, wired, plugging them in USB.
Oh, but they
Don't know.
Do the ones on the NES Mini don't have USB though? You'd need an adapter to plug it in, like the GameCube adapter. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. Well, maybe if these rumors are true, we'll find out tomorrow at midnight. But they also announced the catchphrase: more games, more features, more fun.
Can you?
I don't know how
more
NES games could be more fun. You could definitely handle more games. So more games, 20 NES games, more features. You can chat online while playing the original Mario Brothers. More fun. Not so sure. We'll see. We will see. But it's all good. So that is the news, as always. And next, I want to find out what you guys have been playing. So, Greg, you've not been loving all these new game announcements, Barrow and Mission. Have you been loving the game you've been playing this week?
Love is a strong word, darn. Well, when Okami HD was released there a few weeks ago, I sort of debated whether to get it or not, but ultimately I sort of felt like I didn't really want to play it again. But I do have Okamiden on the DS, which I haven't beat yet, and I still haven't beat it. But I had a save file which was maybe about halfway through the game, so I actually decided instead of downloading Okami HD on the Switch, I would just play Okamiden on the DS. So I've sort of been playing that quite a bit this week, and it's pretty good. It's kind of more of the same. The first thing you probably really notice about it is like visually, like obviously despite the resolution of the DS and stuff, it does a pretty impressive job actually replicating what the original Okami was like, and brings it to the handheld, and it runs pretty well. There's a wee bit of slowdown here and there, but like it looks pretty good. I know you're not really a fan of the old like PS1 and N64 like graphics. Don't think they hold up particularly well. It's kind of in that ballpark, but I think it looks pretty cool. But anyway, like you play as the son of the goddess of the first game. You play as Chibi Terasu, and it's like a wee cute puppy wolf thing. It's like pretty adorable in all honesty, and throughout the adventure you'll encounter these other people who can actually they jump on top of Chibi Terasu's back, and you sort of you'll know from the first game, there's puzzles you sort of solve and stuff like in Zelda sort of style. Well, those are sort of here as well, but this time you can separate the person and Chibi and solve puzzles that way. Like you might have to direct people onto buttons or whatever while you're doing other things, and obviously like the first game, it's largely down to drawing on the screen. So you have your celestial brush as you did in the first game, but it actually feels, in some ways it kind of feels a wee bit better now because you're using a stylus on a screen. So it feels a lot more intuitive than using an analog stick, or it feels even better than using just the Wii remote on the Wii version of Okami. But there's a slight pause whenever the way you have to bring the canvas down and then everything stands still while you draw lines or circles or whatever motions you have to do. There's a slight pause whenever you press the button to bring the canvas down. So that happens every single time you have to do it, so it kind of halts the pace of the game a wee bit. You do get used to it. It's not game breaking or anything, but it kind of makes me wish that you could use the brush techniques without having to go into a separate screen and stop time. But apart from that, it kind of suffers from the same sort of problems that Okami did, where sometimes what you do isn't registered properly. So you'll try to draw a bomb, for instance, and maybe it won't recognize that you've actually tried to draw a bomb, and it'll just disappear into nothing, or it will draw the bomb but it'll not draw it in the exact place you wanted it to go. So that can be irritating sometimes, and the combat on Okami was never all that exciting to begin with, and it's pretty much the same here. So if you're coming in looking for good combat, you're probably not really going to find it here. But if you did love Okami, it is a nice wee follow on from that. If you did really like it, I probably would recommend you actually get this if you haven't played it before. I'm not sure how much it goes for now. It was a late DS game, but like I said about the graphics being nice enough, it probably because of it was a late DS game. I think it may have benefited a wee bit from being on the 3DS. It may even have came out after the 3DS was launched. I'm not sure, but it's decent. I'm not really sure what else to say about it. Like I'm about 17 hours into it, I think, and
that big.
I'm pretty sure I should be finished it before the 25-hour mark. It's not as big as the original game, but it's pretty sizable, yeah.
And does it make you want to get Okami on the Switch, or is it almost think I've had my fill?
It's kind of probably maybe that I've had my fill again. It's one of those things like Okami, the first one, I felt like it really dragged on a bit. Like after, like I was loving it for the first 10 or 15 hours, and then it just kept going and going. And I think it's maybe kind of similar.
It's got more endings than Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
It's just like I'm still wanting to play this one here, and I do want to see it through to the finish, but it's like you get these oddly quests where you just have to, like, you feel like you're just going from place to place, and it's a wee bit of padding kind of, and it's like I'd be happier if it was just shorter, a wee bit more concise, and just like more killer than filler, really.
Oh.
But like it's a good game. Like I say, if you did like Okami, then I would give it a go. But if you had the same irritations with Okami that maybe I did, then I'm not sure if I would fully recommend it.
I'm struggling to actually pick up Okami HD. You know, I'm in two minds. One minute I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and the next minute, I don't know if I can do that again.
Yeah, I don't think, like, I would quite like to have it in some ways, but I don't think I could stomach going through the whole thing again. And the actual fact,
don't buy it.
Like it's the fact of you know the way I was mentioning in Captain Toad with the drift of the Joy-Con, like the cursor.
Yeah.
If that happens in Okami, I'm just gonna, like, I'd go mad, like. Just the frustration of trying to draw something and it just being all over the place, and obviously you're drawing things all the time.
And I was watching some during, I can't remember, it was E3 or whatever they showed, and the Okami HD for the first time on the Switch, and then they went to the next game show, and they were showing off screen so you could see the person moving the Joy-Con and the reaction on the screen. It seemed to move okay, but it's just not as good as the pointer. I struggled even with the Wii version, you know, the pointer itself. I struggled doing some of the shapes, and this looked worse. It looked really difficult to do it in the correct manner, you know. That's another thing which put me off.
Yeah, I didn't really have much problem with the Wii remote. Like, obviously, like I said, there's times when it doesn't register properly what you want, but like I do think that way of, like, drawing is probably preferable to the Joy-Con or just using the stick. Like I've never actually played an Okami with just using the right stick to draw before, but I can't imagine that
can't be good. Yeah,
that's great. Not when you've played it a different way.
You've not sold it.
No, same here. Did they let you use your finger on the Switch version, on the touchscreen?
Yes.
That might fix it then. I think it's one of those games as well that would look really good on the Switch screen itself, and if I did have it, I would end up playing it on handheld mostly.
Yeah, but Okamiden, the touch screen is it works pretty well on Okamiden on the DS. But you do have to, like, hold the stylus all the time pretty much while you're playing, so I don't know if that would irritate you or not. Like, it doesn't really seem to bother me, but like, you kind of have to hold it there, use the buttons, and then come off and draw a line and then back on the buttons.
I played Kid Icarus. Anything else is easy.
Fair enough.
So Lee, I am very excited to hear your thoughts on this, because
good man.
It's been a game that I'm tempted by. It's on sale, and they've just done a new update. So please sell me on this game.
It's like it's half price in sale as well, and actually for the price they're asking, the normal price is $14.99, and it's a touch and go kind of thing. I don't know if it's worth that. But at that price, sale price, even before I start talking about it, Darren, I'd say pick it up, okay? £7.49, curved digital game, human fall flat.
Okay.
It comes with a lot of caveats, unfortunately. It is a puzzle platformer. Most levels are rather large, open-world areas, and you can forget the kind of precision of Mario Odyssey. This is a kind of game where your character called Bob is this clumsy, stumbling, he looks like he's drunken, you know, he wobbles around the stage. It's one of those games like Snake Pass where it's difficult to control the main character. But, unlike Snake Pass, you can get pretty good at controlling him and moving him around. So, usual kind of puzzle platformers, your left analog stick moves you around in that shambling zombie fashion. The right analog stick then is camera control. A is jump. And due to his kind of gait, which he's a kind of short, chubby rather chap, his jump is very limited. His jump is mostly there to make you move faster. So instead of walking in a slow pace, I can just jump, push him forward, and I can speed up going through a section. So jumping's handy for that. And there's an X button, which I haven't fully worked out why it's there. But this kind of sells the game and what the game is about. The game is just so funny. If you're playing this through in single player, another co-op game this is, if you're playing through in single player, I can't recommend that you pick it up. It's got a lot of problems. The difficulty spike on some of the levels without help would make it unplayable, I think. I played this game all the way through with my son, and the kind of thing that sells it is the kind of situations that you find yourself in. And it's this press of this X button, you press the X button and your character just drops dead. He just crumples to the floor for no reason. And if you time that right, in the right situation, that can just be hilarious in itself, So what the game itself, though, is about manipulating your character or characters, because hopefully you're playing this co-op, as is the preferred manner, through the environment using mostly your hands. Now, your hands are controlled with the ZL button and the ZR button, ZL left hand, ZR right button, but by pressing them, you extend your arm. Then by looking up and down, you extend your arm up and down. And at the end of each arm, your hand is like a ball, it's sticky. So you can basically stick your hand onto anything in the environment that can move. Whether or not you can move it, because it might be something too big, you can still grab it. You can grab your co-op partner and drag him off the edge of a cliff with you. You can grab bins. You can jump in a bin. Get your co-op partner to push you in on a wheelie bin down the hill and off a cliff. You don't have to. It's one of those games where you don't have to go for the end goal. Just go and have fun. Go and have a laugh with each other. Yeah, push someone off a cliff. It's hilarious.
And I'm guessing you and your son did that a lot.
Yes. To the point where it started to lose its hilarity. And it's like, oh, come on, let's just finish this level.
And what about this new online mode?
I've played the online mode, and it adds 8-player online. Unfortunately, it doesn't. You can play online with 7 other players, 1 yourself. You can't play 2-player local co-op and then go into the online experience. So it might be something for somebody who hasn't played it, hasn't got a co-op partner. Yes, you can jump online. The online experience, though, is worse than the normal experience. And the normal experience, the game itself has got low poly visuals, which are no problem. It's a simple looking game, but it suffers. I don't know if it's because of the big environments, but playing Super Mario Odyssey, big environments, no performance issues. Human Fall Flat does have a stuttering frame rate, not all the time. It just appears now and again. You can play for 5 minutes and nothing, and all of a sudden it starts stuttering for 20, 30 seconds, and then it'll kick back in and be fine again. I don't know what it's doing in the background. It doesn't seem to be saving or loading, and something's happening anyway. It doesn't matter whether you're playing docked or undocked. The game sometimes freezes as well. You'll be stuck there and this is just in the 1-player game, you're just stuck there for 2 seconds and then it kicks back in again. So it's got serious performance problems, but that still doesn't take away from how much fun I had with this playing co-op. Now, take it to the next level and take it online with 7 other players. And I must, before I say anything, I've upgraded my internet. I played the online 2 days ago without my fast internet. So, obviously it's something to do with that. But it was unplayable. There was, and I timed it with my stopwatch, there was a 14-second lag between pushing up on my controller and before my character started moving on screen. And that was at its best. It got worse at other times.
So no, great. You should try it again though, just in case it was your internet.
Just in case it was my internet. I was using a 4G connection, which isn't a slouch, and I should imagine that this game is a kind of game that would do well with Americans and Europeans all having a laugh together, and I don't know if it would, but my kind of good online experience has always been with Japanese players, and from the names of the bobs they had, it looked very Western centric, so it could have been the internet connection, definitely.
Okay, that's fair enough.
The physics, it gets right, you for example, just one puzzle, you have a plank of wood, you have a cylinder, you have to get to the top, you have an anvil. You can position the anvil in such a place that when one of your characters sticks on, you put your plank on the cylinder, you've created a seesaw. In other words, you created a catapult, you drop the anvil, and you catapult up to the next platform. There are elements where even working through the game story itself is a lot of fun. Just be aware.
And how difficult is it in terms of could Hugo play it? Could a 3-year-old play it?
He could play through the first 2 levels, I reckon. The first level is an introduction. Then the second level is more of the same, it's lifting your arm up and pushing switches to open doors, which open the next area. The areas tend to be smaller. But by the time you get to the third level, you have got to be pretty good at climbing. And to climb in this is a challenge. You've got to lift both your arms up, you've got to jump, grab on top of the platform, then pull yourself up while looking down, so it kind of pulls your body up, and then let go at the right time so your legs catch the ledge and you can walk forward. Sounds complicated, and the first time you try it, it is, like everything in this game. But with practice, you can be jumping around quite easily.
Yeah, we'll see.
For a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, I think it's going to be too difficult.
Too difficult. Right,
Yeah.
I'll tell Hugo that, and he'll be like, right, I'll prove Lee wrong.
If you think Snake Pass is a little bit wonky for him, this won't be any different, I don't think.
I mean, Snake Pass's problem is it's just not very good and not fun, but we elaborate on that. Do you know what this conversation reminds me of? And actually, this could have been brought up last week. Have you ever played a game called Octodad?
No, but it looks very similar in its kind of mechanics and its manipulation of the environment.
Exactly. When you were describing it, it sounds exactly the same, where you've got your triggers that control each arm,
Yeah.
and the point is it's very difficult to control, and your hand sticks to things and things like that, and it sounds controls exactly the same. But then actually going back into the Snake Pass conversation, it's almost like, and it sounds like the purpose of this is like, we was criticising Snake Pass, and what other game was we saying controls really badly?
Tumbleseed.
In Tumbleseed. And but the thing is with Octodad, and presumably this, is that the whole point of the game is that it's difficult to control. That's the fun of it, is that you're controlled. Obviously in Octodad you're a secret octopus, and you've got to pretend to be human, and you've got to appear that you're walking as a human, and it's meant to be difficult, and that's why it's funny and that's why it's fun. Snake Pass, you're not pretending to be a snake, you are a snake. So that snake is not going to find it difficult to move around, is it? So why is it difficult to move around? Anyway, whatever. This is like tangent fest, isn't it?
It is funny that you mentioned Octodad, because as is usual when Lee's talking about his games, I have a wee look on my phone to see what it's like, and the movement instantly reminded me of Octodad. Not that I've ever played it, but just looking at it, it does look similar. But I will say the graphics are they are really basic. It's like they're unfinished or something. It's like they're still in the design phase before they add textures.
There's a complete lack of textures, Greg. It's just it's low poly, but it's above an N64 kind of graphic upgrade. But yeah, everything's got edges, everything's got corners, and they are flat textures. But the shading, the shadowing, all that is comparable to a modern game. That works fine.
Yeah, so obviously a design choice, but it's one that you'll either gel with or won't.
Yeah.
And
I'm not. I'm not really digging what I'm seeing here, but
it's kind of appealing to me, actually.
That's normal.
Not the graphics. I mean, the game itself.
The game itself. No, it's surprising how even I'm still positive about the game. Completely finished it and all that, and that was a real struggle to finish it, even with the two of us. I'm still positive about the game, even through its problems, just for the sheer fun,
Yeah, exactly. I think I'll wait for a bigger sale. I reckon a £5 and I'll buy it. Maybe at some point in the future, see how it goes. But yeah, awesome. The game I want to chat about is a game called Floor Kids. It came out quite a while ago now, and it's a rhythm game, a rhythm breakdancing game. And I've had it for a while, and I dabbled in it, but I never played it. And then I decided to kind of go for it, and I played it last week. And the game is amazing, actually. I don't know if any of you have heard of it or seen it. It's the kind of the graphical style is by a guy called John. I've never heard of him, but I presume he's some artist or game developer. But the graphics have a really kind of beautiful hand-drawn style to it. It's really incredible animation. And the music is by Kid Koala. I don't know if you've heard of him. I'm not normally I'm not particularly into his music, but in the game it fits brilliantly. And so basically what you do is there's like 6 characters. Six to 8 characters, and you pick one, and you go to a venue, and there's like a variety of venues in the game, and you listen. Each venue has 3 songs, and you just play a song, and you have to break dance to the music. And it's not a rhythm game where you have to press specific types of moves that you can. In theory, you could just press one button over and over again, and as long as you do it to the beat, then you'll keep breakdancing. It's so. You can decide, so it's much more freestyle in terms of kind of how you do it. You've got so you've got moves. It's called like top deck, where you're like high up and you're doing moves stood up. You do kind of low down, where you're doing moves on the floor. You've got spinning moves, and you've got poses where like people posing on one arm and stuff like that. And you can decide, and there's like 4 for each one, and you can decide exactly how you want to breakdance. There is 2 sections halfway through, and then at the very end where it's got a specific rhythm you have to tap to. But very simple, like 6 notes, like do do dun 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 dun, and then you do fast tapping as quickly as you can. But other than that, you're free to do whatever you want, and you can do it on the beat, on the off beat. Occasionally, the crowd kind of throw in like what moves they want to see. So the crowd will say, "Oh, I want to see a spin," and then if you do the spin, you'll get a bonus. And obviously, you get the more variety you do, you get bonuses as well to kind of improve your score. And you also get combos. So if you link specific moves together, then you'll get a combo score as well. So although you can just tap one button, you know, to get high scores and to get 5 stars, then you need to kind of add variety to it. And the game does sort of nothing else other than that. It's got a really simple progression system. You just go to a venue, play 3 songs, go to the next venue. It took me less than 3 hours to complete the whole game. Wow. It's not particularly difficult, but it's just a ridiculous amount of fun. In all honesty, it's just it just combines into an amazing experience. I think I only paid a few quid for it. This is what I love about indie games. It's like 10 years ago we'd have paid 50 quid for it, and it would have been like, what the hell was that? 50 quid for a game that took 2.5 hours to complete, and it's the same gameplay from beginning to end. But when you pay a few quid for it as an experience, it's like, in a weird way, like what Greg was talking about Okamiden, it's like, if it was any longer, it would have got boring. But because it's 2.5 hours of pure entertainment, of really fun gameplay, it looks great, it feels great. There's even just seeing the different, because each character's got the different moves, so just moving between the characters and seeing the sort of different kind of moves that they do is entertaining in that way. The only other addition to it, it's a very small addition to be honest, is that you collect cards. So you can collect cards for each character, and they're the moves. So in a sense, when you do a new move, you'll get a card for that. And then the cards also have the combos on them, so you can then see what the combos are rather than trying to guess them or just trying to find them by accident. It's a little bit clumsy because there's no way of seeing those combos mid-game. You've got to memorize the combos from looking at their card decks beforehand. So I ended up writing them down on my phone, and then as I was playing the game, looking in, and I was like, right, I need to. So there's a couple of tiny clumsy elements to it, but ultimately, I just thought it was really great fun. And if you like rhythm games, then if you can get it for a few quid, then it's really worth it because it's made with so much sort of love and care. And like I said, they've got Kid Koala involved. The music's great. They've released a vinyl for the kind of the soundtrack as well, which is kind of great to see. The only thing I would like to have seen maybe is even a mode or a side mode or an option to, because I do love rhythm games. But at the same time, I also like being challenged to press certain combinations at certain times. I would have quite liked a more traditional rhythm game aspect where you're being told what to press in those games. The difficulty is that's not their intention. But as a personal preference, I would have quite liked to have seen it because that's kind of more what I'm into. But ultimately, I thought it was a really fantastic game. I don't know if I'm guessing, Greg, when we chat about these games, you have a look at them. I don't know if you had a look at it and see what you think.
I've been watching the whole time, and you know what? Like, it's been making me laugh. It actually looks really fun, so it does, like, just the way they dance around and stuff.
Yeah.
Just, like, and the graphical stats of it. It looks really cool. Like, how much did you say you got it for?
Oh, God, I can't remember now, but it was on one of the sales a while ago. I reckon £3, £4. I'm like, to be honest, I'll just be making up a figure, but I know I got it on sale and was like, yeah, I'm going to pick that up because it looks my kind of thing.
About a fiver seems right. And Greg, you like the the Wii music and all that. That when Darren was speaking then about the free form kind of thing, it reminded me a lot of that, and that put me off a bit. But I don't think it would put you off.
Honestly, as I'm watching it here, it looks like a great laugh. So, like, I'm probably going to put it on my watch list and then see where we go from there, because 2 or 3 hours long, like, great Wii game just to pass the time. But
yeah, exactly. It's got a multiplayer mode as well. If you local multiplayer where you do dance offs. So yeah, I mean, like I say, really good, very simple game, which I'm just loving at the minute. And that means that I can complete 10 games a month, which is kind of what I'm averaging this year, which is terrifying and much needed, may I add.
Amazing.
Exactly, awesome. Awesome. So now we're going to go on to what is increasingly exciting, Greg's game.
This game is, I'm just going to call it Guess the Intro, and it's basically I'm going to play a little pieces of music just from the starts of some of your favourite games, really, and you're going to have to identify what the games are. I've split the games into 2 groups here. So we've got a group of 8 little sound bites in Group A and 8 in Group B. So since Lee has been struggling for victories in our little games, I'm going to let him choose which section he gets.
Struggling, I've been hammered twice.
I can't remember the first one. Obviously, the Game Boy, the Ambassador one.
The Ambassador one where you hammered me, Darren, and then Greg truly finished me off and put me in my grave with the N64 Mini.
So come on, Lee, sort it out. Although I will, you'll batter me at this, I would imagine.
Would you like A or B?
I'm going to go for A.
Going by the games you like, I think you may have made the wrong choice.
Oh dear.
We'll see. We might be fine. So to narrow it down a wee bit, it's not as difficult. They're N64 games.
Okay.
My favourite generation.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have Lee can start with the first one, which is labelled A1. So if you listen to it, if you don't know what it is, then Darren will get a crack at it to see if he can get it and steal your point.
Stop right there. So I can listen now? Let's go for
yes.
A1.
Fire away. I'm surprised if you're struggling with this one, because I thought this.
No, but I'm
the
picturing which one it is.
but-
It's a car. It makes that noise, Darren, and my brain is now making that noise.
We all heard it.
I thought we should have a time limit.
Yes, we should do. I'm gonna have to guess. That if it's an N64 game and it's obviously a racer game, it's gonna be. This is a terrible guess. It's gonna be Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer.
Wrong.
Darren. Go, Darren.
See, it sounds like a traditional racer.
Yes, but it's got that.
But my memory has Mario Kart as having that kind of isolated, just the sound go by. So I'm going to say Mario Kart 64.
And it is indeed Mario Kart 64.
Oh, I cannot remember that.
Like maybe these things are just more ingrained in my in my memory. I thought that one would have been more straightforward. But yeah, well done, Darren. Do you want to go with B1?
Oh yeah, of course, Mango. Okay, right. I'm going to listen to it now.
That's an easy one.
Oh my god, I'm telling you, I am terrible at this. I knew every song would be familiar, but I'd struggle to place it. I've played this recently. I think it's that beginning.
Remember, there's a time limit.
Yeah. Oh my god. Do you know it, Lee?
I was fairly
Yes,
certain
I know
Lee
it.
would know this one and several in this section.
Oh my god.
Gonna need a guess, Darren.
Oh no, I'm sorry. One Wave Race 64?
Wrong.
Oh no!
It is Pilot Wings 64.
It is
Of
indeed
course
Pilot
it is!
Wings.
Of course!
I'm surprised.
Oh, no.
I'm really surprised you went with Wave Race there because it is really distinctive.
Yeah.
I know. Honestly, I knew I'd be terrible at this game.
Right, I'm going to have a listen to A2.
People listening are going to be absolutely smashing their phones in frustration at
What's
us.
the plan?
Oh, I know it, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I thought this one was maybe a little bit more difficult. Like I was actually a little bit taken back whenever I turned it on to record the audio for this here. So I was like, really?
That's going to be Mario Golf.
No.
Mario Tennis
Yeah.
64.
Maybe I gave it away slightly with my reaction there.
No problem. It was
Yes.
it was one of them. I thought, yeah, no, it's like that championship kind of. Dun, 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 dun. It's a sports game. Oh,
Yeah.
We're getting each other.
yeah.
Darn, I think you're going to get this one. Lee certainly would.
Oh, yeah.
Any ideas?
I thought.
Well, F-Zero.
I thought you'd get
but-
this one straight away.
F-Zero.
It is indeed F-Zero.
Yeah, F-Zero X. They play that little bam, 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 and then bam, 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 and they go into the heavy metal.
I don't recognise the music. I only recognise the style of it. I knew that, the kind of the soundtrack's like that, but I don't recognise the music at all.
I figured if it went into the music bit, it would give it away absolutely. So
Yeah.
I tried to leave a
Yeah.
wee bit of doubt in there. So Lee, number 3,
Is this
playing catch up again.
I'm playing catch up again. What is it now? Darren's got 3. I've got 1.
3-1. Yep.
Oh, I could have had that one back. Right, A3.
Yep. It will help if you've played it, which perhaps you haven't.
I have no idea, but I'm going to guess.
Uh-huh.
But the way you said it will help if you play it, it kind of tells me that it's not first party or anything. It's a more I'm going to use a word here which I shouldn't. A rare game. Jet Force Gemini.
No.
Oh,
Chance to steal, Darren.
I'd be completely guessing. It's got like a sci-fi bit to it though, hasn't it? A sci-fi edge.
yeah, that's where I got the Jet Force Gemini from. Yeah.
Did. Oh, I mean, Perfect Dark.
Nope. Wrong.
But, guess, huh?
But you both went with a rare game, which is right. It's Killer,
Yeah, it's
Killer
got-
Instinct Gold.
Oh, I never
Oh
played it.
boy, really?
Yep. I cut the
That's
music
interesting.
off just as the guy goes Killer Instinct. So yeah. So that might give it away, but at least Darren didn't get any further ahead there.
Yeah.
Do you want to go
Well
with,
done, Darren.
with B3, Darren?
So it's my B3, right?
Or at the very least, he has definitely
Oh
played
God,
it.
is that it?
Oh, I know this. I might have an idea, but I'm 50-50, you know, I'm not 100% sure, that's for sure.
That is hard, isn't it? That one. That's so.
Yeah.
It's got like a futuristic-y vibe to it as well, hasn't it? So, like Extreme G or it's a racing game. Is it a racing game? I'm not allowed to ask for clues, am I?
No.
San Francisco Rush.
No.
I was also thinking of a racing game, and I can't remember, Greg, if I heard it last when you did the vault or whether it's part of my other racing game, World Driver Championship, and that's what I'm going with, World Driver Championship.
Oh, it's not World Driver Championship.
Is it V-Rally?
But it is a race game. It is F1 World Grand Prix. It's a little bit at the start where they're like panning round the cars.
Yep, yeah. Now you said it, I can visualize the whole
Yeah.
thing. Oh, man.
Greg's rigging this thing for you, Lee.
And I still can't win.
So Lee, A4.
A4,
Still
here you go,
3-1.
Okay. That sounds like a beginning of Advance Wars or something.
That famous Nintendo 64 game.
Oh, that
No,
famous
Nintendo
Advance Wars on
64,
the N64.
I'm going to listen one more time. I know this as well. I don't know it again.
I've got a guess, but I've got to know.
I haven't even got a guess. I'm gonna go with something like a puzzle game. I don't know why. It's got that bright, cheerful. And it's got to be a puzzle game I've played. So, because I know the song, and I can't think. Wetrix.
No.
I didn't think so.
What a game Wetrix is, though.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say 1080s.
It's not 1080 either. It is.
I thought it was 1080 then.
It is International Superstar Soccer 64.
Yep.
Can you picture it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy, we started off so well. We got the first 4 right between us, and then. All right, I'm holding out for. I'm playing defensive and just holding out for the 3-1 victory by the end. Right, B4.
I think
Let's
you
go for
what
it.
Spurs
may
do.
get this one.
I know this one as well, and I can't think of the game.
WWF No Mercy.
No.
It's definitely got that sports thumping vibe. I never played the No Mercy one, but I'm thinking more basketball or something like that. Like I can't remember the name of the basketball game that was made by Left Field or whatever they were called.
NBA Courtside.
NBA Court. No. There was a more
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Blah blah blah.
That was GameCube, I think.
Oh, really? There was an N64 basketball, which is more of a sim rather than a kind of, arcade game.
Oh, it's
I can't-
just the EA one, is it? The NBA.
Oh, it could be, but I'll say that, and it's obviously wrong.
It is wrong. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was.
We're getting the right genre.
Oh, yeah, right genre.
Yeah.
That's a sporty thing.
So
Was that me or you? I'm losing track.
that was Darren. We're halfway through here, and it's currently 3-1 to Darren.
Oh, come on.
So
A5, right? That seems easier.
You can guess that, can't you?
Yeah, from that bing bing bing, the church bells, the church organ kind of thing going on. I'm guessing Castlevania 64.
that is incorrect.
Oh. Do you know, Dan?
I thought it was that as well. Ding, 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 ding. Right, let's play it again. Was that the beginnings of an engine at the end?
That or the creation of a monster, transmogrifying into the ether.
That is a superb, superb guess.
Excitebike 64.
Really?
I know it's completely random. I don't think it is, but I'm just thinking of a racing game.
It's Gauntlet Legends.
Yeah, that's why I knew it as well, because I played through it.
Summoning the monster. That's like
Yeah.
you're pretty much bang on there. Unfortunately, you don't get a point for that. So Darren,
I can't see us getting another point.
he's definitely.
Oh, that's,
will. Surely.
Okay.
so is it my B5?
B5, yep.
Perfect Dark.
I'm hoping you won't be getting a point for this. I have no idea.
Perfect Dark.
No, it's not Perfect Dark. Lee.
It has got that sci-fi vibe. I'm gonna go with Turok game. Do I need to specifically say which one?
I don't think it really matters.
Then I won't bother.
It was Ridge Racer 64.
Oh, miles off.
God, they loved a bit of sci-fi in these racing games, didn't they?
So we've went 3 rounds
Sci-fi
with
tinge.
like any correct answers.
Unbelievable.
I think this one might be a little more gettable.
Oh, let's hope it's my go as well. See if I can pull 1 point back.
Oh, come on, Greg. This isn't fair. This is ridiculous.
There's a lot more laughing in that than I can remember, and one of them is obviously the sister, and one is that mole. It's Banjo-Kazooie.
It's not Banjo-Kazooie.
What?
Are you insane? Diddy Kong Racing?
Oh, it was Diddy Kong Racing.
It is
I just
indeed Diddy
popped up.
Kong
Ah, what an idiot.
Oh my God! I thought that I was condemning Greg. It was so
little
easy. You
chimp
could
at the
hear
start.
Diddy laugh, and then the aeroplane.
No, do you know what I visualized when that airplane went by? Is if you have a look at the intro to Banjo-Kazooie, it's the
the dragonfly
that comes in. I thought it was meow, but that actually hits the sign and makes a gonk noise.
Yeah. Fair enough. That I
what-
can see where you're coming from there.
What an idiot.
Oh boy.
Okay, B6.
Well, originally I was thinking Yoshi, so like a platformer. But then the glimmering sound effect made me think of a shard, like a crystal shard. So I'm going to say Kirby and the crystal shard.
And that would be incorrect.
Ah!
No, it's that bum 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 bum.
Yeah. I left that bit in because I thought that might be
It would
the biggest
be
thing, because I thought it might be
too-
too difficult before that.
It would have, and I can't. And still with that bum 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 bum.
You kind of need this one, Lee.
Yeah. Oh. I'm thinking of a first-person Nintendo, first-party Nintendo game, or a Rare game. Oh, I don't know. It's got a quirky kind of thing. Hey, this is D like Pilot Wings, and then I'm thinking of, and it's gonna be wrong. Star Fox Adventures.
Didn't come out. It came out on the GameCube.
Oh, not Star Fox Adventures. What? Oh, it came out on the GameCube. Oh my God, what am I thinking? Okay, that's my answer. Star Fox Adventures GameCube game.
You'd be surprised to find out that's wrong. It was the original Super Smash Brothers.
Really?
And the little
Wow,
bits at
wow.
the end, that is like the master hand counting down.
Bum bum bum. Ah, okay. No, never would have got that one.
So 4
Right.
left, 3 behind.
A7. This is it, Darren. This is where I pick up my lucky streak now, and you've had it. You give in?
Okay, forfeit.
I know this one. I think. Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Correct.
Yeah. 3-2.
Just cut it off before it
4-2.
said stupid logo. Yeah, 4-2.
Ah, worse than I thought.
Congratulations. So, darn, B7.
I'm going to listen to that again.
Absolutely love this one.
Well, the game or the music?
The game. I quite like the music as well, actually, but love the game.
It was quite like quick, more like slidey. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Ridge Racer or San Francisco. It was like quick. Beetle Adventure Racing.
Wrong. Chance to get a point back, Lee.
I am going to go, and only because you said you love the game, I thought that was a kind of hint. And you talked about V-Rally.
I love most of these games, I'll just throw that out there.
Damn, I better think. It reminded me of a kind of Mickey's Speedway or something like that, but I'm going to go with V-Rally.
And that would be wrong.
Duh.
Have either of you played Top Gear Rally?
I believe that was a game that I rented, not actually owned.
I did have that, and that is why I have the nickname Dazzy B, was because of Top Gear Rally. Because you could customise your car, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And yellow is my favourite colour, and I did a car yellow with black, and I thought, oh, look like a bee, and I think one of my friends went, oh, Dazzy B. So then I did the B as in the BEE and wrote it on the car. There you go, a little bit of trivia from 20 odd years ago.
Cool. But no correct answers.
So we've got two left, one each,
and it's 4-2.
And I'm 2 ahead, so I can't lose. You should give us, if it's a draw, Greg, you should think of a question.
Oh, I do have one. I'm prepared.
Oh, good man.
Oh, it's thought of it.
I don't have the answer
8-8.
yet, but I can get it quickly. But I do have a question.
I'm going to listen one more time. Oh, there's a meow. Is that a meow in the background? There was a puzzle game which had, I don't know about the intro, but in the music itself, as you play in this puzzle game, it had a very similar beat and note compilation, similar music, and I'm going to say it is, and I can't remember the full title, but it's a Tetris game.
Were you thinking of Tetrisphere by any chance?
Possibly.
It doesn't really matter, it's the wrong answer.
It actually wasn't Tetrisphere. I was playing you then. It was a Tetris game where the Tetris came down and you had to and when you had 4 blocks the same, like 4 cubes, they would mold into a gold shape. I can't remember what that was called. Anyway,
I'm not sure. I've never played that one.
Tetris 64?
it had
There's one
colon
called like
and a subtitle,
the
which
next
was something
Tetris
to
or
do
something?
with unlocking places like the Acropolis and all places like that, the ancient Egyptian
Tetris
pyramids.
64.
Oh, was that Tetris 64? Oh, okay.
No, was it called like New Tetris or something?
Yeah, it was
The next Tetris?
It wasn't
No?
just the next Tetris. I can't remember, but it's not that.
Next,
No,
something like that. Well, I think it was Next or New Tetris or something.
good game. Good little mechanic,
Yeah.
that fusing one.
Tetris 3 is also good. So, but the last one, B8.
Did you guess A8?
No, you did not.
Oh,
Before B8, Darren, have a guess. What do you think
oh
A8
yeah, it's
is?
not Tetris. Oh, hang on, I'll try A8. Hang on, let's have another listen. Sorry.
No props. Because there's no way going. There's definitely the sound of something screeching like a car going through the background there.
I can also hear like a woof. So I don't know if it's
Yeah.
like a fighting game. Like I'm gonna say Mortal. No, you've said Killer Instinct, haven't we? I'll say Mortal Kombat trilogy.
It's not Mortal Kombat, but did you play many fighting games on the Nintendo 64?
Played a few.
Yeah, I played a few. There was this one I can never remember the name of where there was a clown as one of the fighters. Anyway.
Fighters' Destinies?
That was
Yeah, that
Fighters'
was the one.
Destiny, and that is the answer.
Oh,
no!
I
Do you know what I was thinking of? I'm not just saying it, but I was thinking of it. But I was thinking, nah, it's way too obscure.
And I played Fighters Destiny a lot, and there's no way I was getting that one. Okay.
I knew it was a fighting game. Do I get half a point?
No. You don't need any anyway.
Right.
So last one, just to rub salt into the wound.
B8. Let's get this. 5-2.
Oh, that is rubbing salt into the wound.
For both of you. Should I know this?
Bow, bow, bow. Yes.
Again, cut off just before it's given away.
I'm guessing if Lee knows it, then it's a racing game.
It's got heavy metal guitar, rock guitar. It's pumping.
1080 snowboarding.
That's correct.
Well done.
Oh! What a curveball.
So congratulations, it finished 5-2 to Darn, and the losing streak continues.
Thank you very much. It's very hard being this bad.
Oh, you make it look so easy.
To be fair, it seems easy to me because obviously I created the game and I kind of know what the games are. It would be interesting being on the other side.
I will devise a slightly longer version of a tune one. If it's in my plan of things to do anyway.
Intriguing.
Awesome, that was great. What was your question, Greg? Just out of curiosity.
It was actually just going to be, can you name how many Nintendo 64 games I have? And whoever was closer would win.
Nice one. Do you want to save that for another time? No, let's go.
I'll have to count them first.
You count, we'll guess. I'm going to say 30. You can't say 31.
I'm going to say more. I would have said more than that because my N64 collection before I got rid of it must have been over 60. I'm going to go for 60 then. And look how long it's taking Greg to count. There's a good 40 but there.
50,
How many?
53.
Oh.
Shame it wasn't a draw, Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That was good fun, Greg. I like these games. Let's have more of them.
Yeah.
But thanks as always, and everybody, thanks for listening. And bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Nintendo Review Podcast. You can find this very podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, and YouTube. Just search for the Nintendo Review Podcast. Don't forget to give us a review and ask us a question. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, where you'll find great content such as news, reviews, and streams. Of course, you'll find us at nintendoreview.co.uk. And check out our Nintendo Review Discord channel for lively discussion, meetups, and in-game voice chat. Drop by and say hello.